I want to talk a little bit more about racism and discrimination. This video is about the roots and the origin of racism and discrimination and segregation. So, I did a little bit of research and combined it with the knowledge that I gained up to now already, you know, from college, from like personal research, from things that I've learned, you know, just in general and elsewhere. Let me go over there because that's loud as, it's mad loud. And basically, fucking water always dripping on my fucking face. Excuse me. My bad. I'll be walking in New York City, fucking from the AC, you know, like these ACs up here, they be dripping fucking water on my fucking mouth and shit. Excuse my language, excuse me. It's like, damn, man, like every 5-10 minutes water drips on my fucking head and shit. Alright, I'm good. Alright. I'm okay. Alright. So, yeah. The origin of racism and discrimination. Europe, where it came from. I'm going to tell you where it came from. It came from Europe. Primarily Europe. People, there's all this debate. Oh my God, white people can't have all that power. No, it's not fair. And that doesn't justify white hate. It doesn't justify European hate. But there's truth. There is truth in the origins of racism, obviously stemming from like primarily the majority of white cultures and European cultures. Europe initially, they discriminated against Asia, Africa, East Asia, South Asian cultures as primarily as a means of dominating those cultures over resources and power. This was what it was about. 1700s, 1600s, 1500s, and so on and so forth. Europe, the corrupt parts of Europe, because not every European is the same. Not every white person was like, yeah, F them. That's not how it works. But there was an overwhelming amount of Europeans and white people in power with military control and so on and so forth, who those people, those Europeans and those white individuals and groups, it was always about power and dominance. Control. And the means of exercising that power, dominance, and control that they thirsted for translated into slavery, translated into the dehumanization of those groups and those minorities, Asians, Africans, and so on and so forth. Now, what were the ways and the tools that they utilized? What were the ways and tools that they utilized to exercise this control, to exercise slavery and power and control and to take over, right? All right, it was a combination of things. That and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because we see the lingering effects to this day. And I'm gonna link this directly with the enemy of today and of the people of today who aim to maintain all of that, to maintain that power, to maintain that corruption, to maintain that dominance, to maintain the methods by which to exercise that corruption to this very day. Because it's still, they've been doing this for hundreds of years, they got good at it. They got used to it. They got nice and powerful and skilled enough and ingrained the habits and the muscle memory has been ingrained within that society. Not all of European, not all of white people, but of a certain set of white people and Europeans who aim to maintain it. They've been doing this for hundreds of years, and so they know how to do this. They're used to it, and they want to keep doing it. And that's why we have the problem continue to this very day, in the 2000s, bro, in the 21st century. Now, what are those methods? What are those methods? One of those methods was, dehumanizing the groups of those groups, Asians, Africans, and so on and so forth. They would call those groups impoverished. They would be like, look at the dirty people. Look how insanitary they are. Look how disgusting they are. Oh, look at this about them. Look at that about them. Oh my God, Islam. Look at what Islam does. Da 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 da. Oh, they praise the animals. They must be animals too. Da 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 da. All of that rhetoric was utilized. It was originally used as a weapon. That was utilized as a weapon to get the rest of the world to think like that about those groups of people. And in thinking like that, oh, they're dirty, this and that. Oh my God, look at the Muslims. Oh my God, look at the Indians. Asians. Oh my God. Da 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 da. Like, all they do is like education, but that's it, and blah 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 blah, and they don't have a place over here and over there. It was all used as a weapon to further their conquest of those nations. And in order to further that conquest and enslave those groups of people in the process, one of the things they needed to do was gaslight and manipulate other groups and other cultures into thinking like that, so that they could allow those people to come together to dominate those groups even further, so that those groups of people, the Asians, the minorities, the Africans, and so on and so forth, so that they wouldn't have the means of fighting back, because there would be too much against them, and they wouldn't have the power to fight back. So a lot of the ways and the methods that the corrupt Europeans and the corrupt whites hundreds of years ago, like a lot of those methods were it was like talking down on them. It was using words. It was getting other people to see them in those lights. Okay. For example, like dirty, they're dirty, look at them, da 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 da. And that's where like the slurs came from. And those slurs, the N-word, all of that, it was used to disempower them. And in disempowering them, they would have more control to grab their resources, like the cotton, to grab the cotton from Africans and to make them take it and then make it for the whites, the corrupt whites, and so on and so forth. And yeah, and tobacco. And so that's okay. Those were some of the methods, right? Now I wanna take a mid. This is like the middle of the video right here, where how I'm gonna take a little break to talk about. It's just a little break to talk about during the 1700s, because this is crucial to get to the ending of the video and to string this all together. In the 1700s, the Enlightenment period, the Renaissance era, I mean, not just the 1700s, but 1800s and 1600s and so on and so forth. One of the ways, huge ways that we see to this day that maintain the spirit and the rhythm and the melody of racism and discrimination. Look at this. Tell me that isn't crazy right there. Woo! Woo! That's my Cartman from South Park. Remember that episode? Alright. Renaissance era and like an Enlightenment period. The paintings, the art, the music, the explosion, and the revolutionary uprising and advancement of art and entertainment and music was used as a weapon by the corrupt Europeans and certain white groups, corrupt white groups, because there were white people who were like, that's not right. This is important to understand. Not all white people are messed up. Excuse me. They used entertainment and art as a weapon to advance forward with their slavery and conquest of minority cultures even further. And one of the ways they did this, I wrote a research paper about this in college that you can check on my website. It's called The Roots of Orientalism, or The Roots of Racism and Orientalism. I learned this in college when I was like 21. Back in 2014. A lot of the Europeans, racist and discriminative Europeans, would make paintings of that misconstrued the minorities for the rest of the world to be like, oh my God, why are they like animals? Oh my God. And they specifically labeled them the other. You can look this up. This is a known thing. They labeled them as the other. And it was the Occident versus the Orient. Oriental cultures like Asia and so on and so forth. They would paint like the Muslims in like mosques, like in unruly manners, like with a bomb strapped to their chest. Like, even though it wasn't like to the level and degree that they were doing it, they were painting. How they portrayed it wasn't like that, but that they would portray it as like, oh, they would go to the mosque and it would be paintings of like Muslims like naked with bombs strapped to their chest. But the paintings, they would be so good though that people, they had no choice but to appreciate the beauty of the paintings. And so they used the advancement and the beauty as a weapon. And so, okay, this is how in media and art and in music and in television and in movies, this is how the corrupt, racist people in power, how they continue to brainwash people into maintaining like slavery, even if it has to be different, because we made strides with the Civil War in the 1800s by eradicating slavery and no longer making it legal. Like, this is how they make the slavery, they keep the spirit of slavery and discrimination and racism alive in people's minds and in their hearts. Because to this day, they will portray groups of people in movies and in media and in music in negative ways, just like they did back in the 1700s, just like they did back in the 1800s and so on and so forth, 1600s. and so on and so forth. So when we see, so we have to be aware of when we're watching TV, when we're viewing art, anything, and it could be anything in any context, in any way, shape, or form. We have to be aware of, like, what is the intention? What is the intention of this art? What is this trying to make me think? How is this trying to make me think? Because when we're not aware, when we kind of lose focus, when we get caught up in having fun, which is what life is all about, and it's that we're supposed to have fun and we're supposed to let go and everything, but when we let go, that's when we're the most vulnerable. We have to be aware that they still use, there are still racist people, there are still people in power who utilize art and who utilize media and so on and so forth as a means of racial manipulation, as a means of manipulating other people into thinking in terms of, oh, like seeing other groups in lower forms, lower ways, for the purpose of keeping those groups down, so that the people who want power, they can keep the foot on them, their foot on them, so to speak, so they can keep the power against them, so that they can continue to take resources from them and continue to be at a higher level than them, and have dominance, to continue maintaining dominance, power, money, and so on and so forth. So that is very crucial. That was the middle part of this video. That was the second, you could say, part of what I wanted to talk about. And I'm gonna wrap this video. I'm gonna try to wrap this up quick by just saying that, in conclusion, it was always about domination. It was always about power. It was always about resources. Yes, it's true. It's true. It originated from corrupt white groups. But I want to reiterate, that doesn't mean that all white people are corrupt. There are white people such as myself who are fighting against that. But the last part of my video, and this is controversial, but I need to say it. This is my opinion. Take this how you want it. I believe people like Trump supporters, not every Trump supporter, but an overwhelmingly large amount of Trump supporters, those people aim to, okay, I'm trying to get away over there to get away from this, and now they want to come over here. It's just New York is loud as hell. So I believe that a lot of those people, they aim to maintain the spirit of the slavery, power, and dominance that back in hundreds of years ago, they corrupt and racist white groups and European groups and so on and so forth aim to maintain and to exercise. They wanted to maintain power back then in order to take resources and to have to kind of stomp those minorities out, to lift them, to keep themselves up and everything. And to this day, the reason why we still see a huge problem with racism and discrimination is because there are groups that still aim to maintain what they did hundreds of years ago. And I believe that Trump is like, he whether he intends to or not, he's a part of that. He wants to keep that spirit alive. And people that, like, on my ex calling me, someone just called me a subhuman, bro. Like, people dehumanize me all the time for being half South Asian. We need to understand that it's still alive today. And in order to overcome it, it's important to understand our history and where it came from. And in understanding the history, we can have better clarity and understanding, and have more means to overcome it.